How's it going, guys? King of the fourth quarter here, and I was thinking the other day, in my 19 years on this earth, I've had to have some type of stuff that happened to me that are story worthy that I can make into a nice video of me just sitting down talking to you guys about it. So that's exactly what I did in this video. So I'm going to be telling you guys about the first time I tore my labrum. So let's get into it.
In the fucking crowd. I brought all my homies, who gon' stop us now? Gang, 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 gang.
So if you don't know what a torn labrum is, let me explain to you. So you remember last year in the playoffs, first round, Kelly Olynyk did his best Bill Laimbeer in the Bad Boy Piston impersonation on Kevin Love and pulled his entire arm out of his socket? Well, yeah, that happened to me. So let me take y'all back, man, as I do so well, to my freshman year in high school, 2011. So I'm going to take you guys to mid-October. And you already know what mid-October is. Basketball season. So the way my high school did it for freshman basketball, they broke them up into two teams, freshman A and freshman B. Freshman A consists of the top 12 high school freshmen in the school, while freshman B consists of 13 through 24. So there was a total of about 100 freshman boys trying out for this basketball team. And you know, that's pretty intimidating, right? I mean, me, myself, I'm not a great hooper. Like, I love basketball with all my heart, but I've never been that go-to guy. I've never been the all-star, the best player on the team. So I was kind of nervous going to tryouts. I knew that I had enough skill to make it because I'm not completely trash, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be on A or B. I forgot to even mention, man, my freshman year in high school, I was probably all of about 5'3", 5'4". So not only was I not the best player out there, I was also one of the shortest. So I tried to make sure that didn't determine whether or not I was going to make this team. So when it came to tryouts, I tried to do that, my best lead by example thing. Because like I said, I was never the guy. You know, I wasn't great offensively. I always had pretty good defense. Pretty athletic too. At 5'4", I was up there grabbing the rim. Wasn't dunking, but I was grabbing the rim. So they saw the athleticism and saw my leadership abilities. And I guess that's what helped them decide to put me on the team. So the coach brought me into the locker room. One by one, they were just calling people names, letting them know if you made it. Because right now we're at day 3 and they're making the last final cut. So everybody's sitting around and kind of trying to think, did I make it? Did I make it? So they called my name. I go into the locker room, I'm like, what's up, coach? Just tell me the news. He said, you made the team. I'm like, perfect. But you're going to be on B team. See, in my head going into freshman year, B team was a terrible thing, man. I thought B team was going to be for the bums, for the people that really don't know how to play. But it turns out, man, B team was pretty good. So when he told me I was on B team and I finally thought about it, I was like, all right, B team may not be so bad. Maybe I can be that team leader, start at that point guard position because, you know, 5'3", 5'4", you have to be playing the guard, right? So I'm like, all right, I accept this. So, you know, weeks go by before we have our first game. And the way our coach did it, he didn't let us know who was going to be starting until the very last second. So when the buzzer rang after warming up, he said the 5 people that were sitting down. You, and you. And guess who didn't get pointed at? Me. So I'm sitting there, the first game, I'm mad. I'm so mad. Like, I'm so mad that I don't even know if I want to play for this team no more. Like, it was that serious to me. But it turns out it wasn't too bad coming off that bench for the first game because we destroyed that team. Like, everybody got in that game. Everybody scored. Think about it. I'm a freshman in high school, though. So when I tell you guys the stats for the season, don't be like, damn, y'all suck. Like, I think our high scorer had like 8 points that game. But 8 points freshman year in high school was a lot, man. And I ended with 6. So I'm thinking, all right, coach saw me do my thing. Next game, I should be starting. Next game, guess what happened? You, and you. Guess who didn't get pointed at again? So I'm looking at myself trying to think, what am I doing wrong? Like, why won't coach put me in this starting lineup? And now that I think back on it, like in retrospect, I wasn't even aggressive, man. I wasn't aggressive enough. It's like I was playing scared, but my freshman self, you couldn't tell him that. He thought he was the man. So eventually he got to the point where one of the guys that he had decided, this is probably like the 3rd or 4th game that was starting, couldn't play. I don't remember if he was ineligible or he was injured or something. So I'm like, okay, this is my chance. There's no way I'm not starting this game. It's against our division rivals, the school right down the street. We want to win, and I want to be the reason we win. So he does it again. You, you. Your boy still didn't get picked. Now at this point, we three or 4 or 5 games into the season, and I'm pissed. I'm like, Coach, why aren't you? I'm not saying this to him, but I'm thinking in my head, why won't Coach start me? This game, I got to go out and just do my thing. I got to be aggressive. I got to make all my shots, play a lot of defense. So once he finally called my name to go get somebody with a sub, I get in there. You know, I'm trying to be calm, but then again in my head, I'm like, I got to play well. First defensive possession, I get the cleanest on-ball steal you'll ever see. I mean, I didn't touch anything but ball, but the whistle blew. The ref said foul. I was pissed, right? So I grabbed the ball. I go back on this moment and I laugh because it was so stupid. So I grabbed the ball out of frustration and just throw it at the ceiling. I hear another whistle, get teed up. Coach put me on that bench and I didn't play for the rest of the night. Then the team lost by 20. So the coach pulled me to the side the very next day of practice, and he told me exactly. He said, I know you got some game, but you got to be more aggressive. What you did last game was unacceptable, and you're lucky to still be on this team, and yada, yada, yada. In my head, I heard him say, you got to be more aggressive. So that's exactly what I did. And a couple games later, I was in that starting lineup. I was the starting point guard, and eventually, I was the team captain. The way it worked, you knew who the team captain was, because before every game, the ref calls captains, and then the coach tells you, come over here. And that's when they go through all the rules, yada, yada, yada. I was the team captain at that point. So one thing we did do at our school, we did like scrimmages. The freshman A team of scrimmage against the freshman B team. And of course, they were better than us, so they beat us a lot of time. But one practice, they decided to do freshman B versus the sophomore team. This sophomore team was huge compared to us. We're freshman B team. Our tallest guy is probably like 5'8", and we're not bums, but these are sophomore players. This is the top 12 sophomores in the school. So I get out there, I didn't get a steal. I was running a fast break, and I get bumped in midair, and I fall right on my left shoulder. And I felt this tweak. Now in my head, I thought things were like, that was it. Because the pain was so sharp. I'm grabbing my shoulder. I run over to coach like, Coach, something's wrong. I think I popped my shoulder. And then I looked down at it and it was okay. See, what happened is called a subluxation dislocation, where your shoulder pops out of its socket and then it puts itself back in without you having to do anything. Then all the pain goes away within like 10 seconds and you're back good. So coach thought I was being soft because I did have a full range of motion. He thought I was scared to go against these sophomore guys, and really my shoulder was hurting. So the way it works is once you have a couple subluxation or I don't even know how to say the word, subluxation dislocations, your labrum is starting to tear little by little. And the labrum is the little piece of tissue that holds your shoulder into socket. So when people dislocate their shoulder, they're most likely tearing that labrum. But a lot of people, it's not as serious. You can just put it back in the socket and it'll be okay. But mine was slowly tearing and tearing and tearing and tearing to the point where it was getting bad. So it was one of the last games. I think we had about 5 more games left in the season. We were going against a team that going into it, we knew we were going to blow out because this team was terrible. So, you know, we do our thing. First half, I had 8 points. Like I said, 8 points is a huge deal freshman year in basketball. And then they got a fast break. I tried to go up and block this guy's shot. I did block the shot, but then my arm tweaked again. This had happened for about 5 times before this game, but this time it didn't go back in. So coach, he never believed me. Every time I told him that my shoulder was messed up, he was still saying, you know, get out there, get out there. And this is a pretty good coach too. He wasn't an asshole or anything, but he said, get out there, get out there. But this time the shoulder didn't pop back into socket. So I ran over to coach. He said, well, I guess you got to come out of the game now, huh? I guess he finally decided this guy may not be lying. So I go into the trainer's office. She fixed me up. You know, she was kind of cute too, I ain't gonna lie. But she fixed me up. Popped my shoulder back in socket. I had to wear a sling for about 3 or 4 days, and then I had to go to the doctor. So the doctor was like, yeah, you need to take a couple scans, an MRI, CAT scan, yada, 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 so we can determine what's wrong. So, you know, I go through that. I go through the MRI. You got to sit in this huge machine that make a bunch of noise for about 30 minutes to an hour. And you just got to sit there. And sometimes they'll give you music to listen to. A lot of times they don't. So you just sitting there. You can't go to sleep because it's so loud. And I was kind of scared, honestly. That was a huge machine. So when the test came back, the doctor called me and my dad into the room. This is a couple days later because the CAT scan or MRI takes a long time to develop. And he said, this is how I knew this doctor wasn't nobody. Like that he shouldn't even be a doctor. He pulled up the scans. He said, right, you see this little thing right here? Me and my dad like squinching our eyes. We don't see shit. So he like, you see this little thing right here? And we're like, sure. He said, I think this may be a tear. Now, when the doctor tells you he thinks something might be wrong, I don't think you should ever go by his word. Because I mean, he is a doctor, but I think, come on now, you gotta be, you gotta be on your stuff when you're a doctor. So my dad was like, you think? He's like, yeah, I think this may be a tear and your son may need surgery. So we're like, okay, I'm still thinking that I can come back this season and play. He's like, son, you can't play for the rest of the season. My heart tore. I was hoping that, I could come back. My team was doing well. When I started, we were going on a nice little win streak. But he said, you can't play anymore. Bam, that's a shot to my heart. And I was like, okay. My dad was like, okay, when can we get the surgery done? He's like, we can get it done in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks pass and I get this surgery and my arm hurts like if you guys never had any type of surgery, you won't understand the pain that you go through after the surgery. In the surgery, you cool. Couple hours when you get out, when you wake up from that deep sleep, the pain is ridiculous. So I'm going through all of this and we go back to the doctor a week after the surgery and we try to figure out, okay, what's next? He said, it's optional, but a lot of people like to go to physical therapy after having this type of surgery, get your full range of motion and all of this. But then my dad heard the word optional. I don't want to be paying money for something that he don't need. So I decided not to go to physical therapy. And that was the worst decision of my life. Guys, go to physical therapy if you need to, because you will feel so much better. You will go to professionals who know what they're doing and helping you get your full motion back. I'm telling you right now, go to physical therapy if you need it. So around this time, after I decided not to go to physical therapy, it's about September. So I'm trying to work myself out to get my full range of motion, because you know what happens next year or next month? Tryouts are again. Like, yeah, I want to play basketball again. So tryouts come around. I didn't even tell my family that I was trying out, because they would have said no. They already knew about the surgery. My coach from last year was like, wow, you healed pretty fast. But I knew in my eyes, in my mind, in my shoulder that I wasn't 100%. So after this surgery, I get to tryouts and I actually make the team. The way coach said it to me, he was like, I know you coming off this injury. Right now we have a roster spot for you, but I don't know how your minutes are going to be. So I'm like, okay, I've been through this before. I can work my way into this lineup. That didn't happen. Nope. Sophomore year, I didn't play at all. Your boy was the classic definition of a bench warmer. I think I played 3 total games, and then with a turnover, a missed free throw, and a foul committed. That was my sophomore stats. But that's all right, man, because I got to be with the team. I got to practice every day, which kept me in shape. Anyway, so after that, the end of my sophomore year, me and my guys go to the gym. These are my guys that I learned that became my best friends after freshman year basketball. That BT thing just molded that team. Like, we were all so close, and me and the guys are still close today. That starting 5, all 5 of us are very close to this day. In college, man, we are very, very close today. So, high school sports do mean a lot, even if it's not you going to the pros or to playing college. Friendships and everything get built. So me and my guys, this is the last day of our sophomore year of high school, and we decided we're going to skip school. We're going to go to the gym that morning, come back around the time school's supposed to be out, and our parents won't even know a thing. We had no finals. We just had to show up basically for attendance, but we were like, forget that. So we went up there to the gym. We were running around. I think we were playing 3-on-3s against some other guys, or yada, yada, yada. And guess what happened? So I do the same exact thing. A guy tried to shoot over me. I tried to get the block and snap. Well, not really a snap. It was more of a pop. The shoulder came out of socket again. Again, I had to do this thing over. And now to make things worse, my parents now know that have to know that I'm at the gym and not at school. So this one was bad because I didn't have a trainer there to pop it back into socket. So I'm calling my friends like, yo, Mike, get over here. Try to put this back in my socket. And these guys, they're being normal people. They don't want to touch a dislocated shoulder and try to put it back in the socket. That's just something, like, nobody's trained for that unless you go to school. So they're like, nah, man, just go upstairs to the office and let them know you need to go. So I let them know. They called the ambulance. I'm like, man, my dad's about to be pissed. You know, I decided to skip school to go to this gym, and now it's going to cost some thousands of dollars to get everything fixed. So we had to do the surgery all over again. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And then this is a new doctor. This doctor was certain. He's like, right here, there's a tear. You need the surgery now. So the next week, I went to go get that surgery, went through physical therapy, and now your boy has full range of motion. It's been 2 years, and your boy is still doing good. So I'm hoping this is the last time I'm going to have to go through that. I think that may be the end of the story, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's just me going through my freshman year of high school and tearing my labrums. Same shoulder too. Same shoulder, 2 surgeries, got 3 marks on it. It's kind of crazy. But if you enjoyed this, man, let me know if I should do more story times. I got a nice story that I got in my head that I'm not sure if I want to tell or not. You guys got to let me know if you like this. If you do, leave it a like. Hopefully you sat through this whole 16 or so minutes. If you didn't, that's all right, man. You just missed out on a really good story. It's the King of the Fourth, and I'm out. Thanks so much for watching, man.
It's really a song about being with all of my friends, smoking a lot of the dope, spending up all of my ends, only with niggas I started with. Canada drive for your girl, them all in my face with that internet shit. A future is something like